Hey, welcome to our parenting boot camp. I am so excited and I'm nervous, and I hope everything that's in my head and heart comes out in film or on camera or whatever in a way that helps you and that inspires you and that clearly, concisely can give you the practical stuff, the hands-on stuff, the what do I do when they won't stop doing this kind of stuff. I've been blessed to learn some amazing tricks and tips, and I over time, I focus less on how to change my children and more on how to change myself. And we've talked about this before. I used to run, and I still do run, a little marriage boot camp kind of thing where we're working on ourselves more than trying to change our spouse. And it's the same, or even more so, with our kids. Okay, so our kids are the most amazing thing, I'm sure you know. They're these beautiful little miracles, these precious souls given to us from God, straight from heaven. And okay, so when I was pregnant, okay, back up, even before I was pregnant, when I was unmarried even, and I just dreamt of being a mom someday, I didn't even realize it, but I had all of these expectations and dreams and realities, really, too, of what I thought it was going to be like. I don't know if you can see my hands here, and I just never gave it another thought, really. That's just how it was going to be. Get married. Oh, it was such a hard time, being married and not being able to conceive. Oh, that was such a cross. The road to parenthood for us was just laced with suffering and trial and lots of prayer and just a starvation of if I could just have one of those and give and give and give and give of myself and my heart and our home, we would just be so happy. And, it was a rough road for us with miscarriage and with infertility and progesterone. I mean, you name it. We've been through so much, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. And when we finally were blessed with our first child, we got to meet her. The poor thing had so many expectations of what we thought she was going to be that it's she came in a sense with a label already on her. And as humans, of course, naturally we do that. We dream of things and we perceive things in a certain way, and then when they aren't that way, we're confused. But I guess it's enough to say that, since becoming parents, and we've just had another baby this year, I'm finding that it is one of the most humbling experiences to be in complete control, in a sense, and responsible for this person, and yet have no control either. Our children were made by God. They're unrepeatable. They're a beautiful creation, and we had a hand in that creation, of course, and some of us did, and many of us have adopted children too. We had a hand in bringing that child into our family in some way, I should say. But that doesn't mean we can make them do anything, or we can make them a certain way, or we can, that they can get better grades, or that they should be neater and clean up their rooms, or that they should be more respectful or have better manners or not cry so much, or you name it. I had these expectations of what I think, and I still do. I struggle with this still, but I'm getting way off track. This boot camp, particularly, for so long, I have struggled with how to be the best mother and the best wife for God and for my children and for others that I can be as an example. And as I've started to learn more and read more and work on myself more, I have felt this overwhelming urgency to put together some kind of boot camp, really. And I went through one similar to this, and I'm still kind of on my own journey at becoming the best parent I can be, and actively figuring out strategies and books and resources and go-tos and systems for how I can best get my kids to heaven and get myself to heaven without losing my patience, without feeling as though something my children do is a reflection of me. See, once I took myself out of the picture, and I am proud and confident and at peace with who I am, because I am working on myself, you know, eating right and exercising and having a good prayer life and being a good friend and all this other stuff, then what my children do, like when I'm disappointed in their behavior, or when they surprise me with a certain way that they are, like their personality, or they're not very physically affectionate or whatever, it no longer has a meaning attached about me. And that's where the freedom has come in being a joyful and happy mother, and a mother who can encourage and guide her children to be who God made them to be, instead of trying to force them into who I want them to be in the name of trying to be God's child. So it's very different, and I feel very free from that. I feel very excited about that. I'm still very challenged. Like I said, I'm still learning. We still have plenty of tantrums and meltdowns and tears and frustrations and questions for God, but the way our family is responding to the challenges of parenting has completely changed. The way we respond to that has changed so much that it's changed our family dynamic. Like, we have more peace, and we're just better. So I, of course, want to give this to everyone who could use it or could learn something from it. I'm going to tackle, I'm trying to keep it short. I'm trying to keep it at 15 days because I know it's hard to stay connected for very long. We're going to use a Facebook group. So like this is a secret Facebook group. So you have that dynamic to kind of check in whenever you want. But I ask that you check in every day, because this stuff builds. You know, you can't, I always go back to working out. You can't just work out one day and then quit for 2 weeks and then be like, I don't know why I'm not seeing results, and then work out for 3 days and then quit for a month. Like, you have to show up every day. And some of the things I'm going to ask you to do, or that I'm going to talk about, might not apply to you, or it might not work for you, or maybe you tried that, but I'm asking you to have an open mind, because this, it's like an entire, it's like a, it's like a full package. So you can't really understand, I think, all of it until you see it as a whole. So I'm asking that, you know, if you jump in, this is just something I want to give. The only thing I ask of you is just that you commit to it. You know, if you're going to do it, then just do all 15 days. You know, it's kind of like the downer at a party, like when someone's in a bad mood or a sad mood. Like, if you're going to join the group and then you're not really going to respond or participate, I ask that you just bow out, because it does drag the group down. And some people are really, really motivated to like learn and grow and change, and so much of our life is so busy, we don't have time to change. We're just trying to get the food cooked and the laundry done and the meals, I already said that, the bills paid, and we don't feel like we're even in the equation of having time to work on ourselves. So I'm trying to provide a place, a very safe place, where you can work on yourself for 5 minutes a day as a mom. If you don't have 5 minutes a day to become a better mom, you know what? I will say some prayers that you find 5 minutes, because I feel that is very, very important. None of us are perfect. We all need continuing growth, and if we don't schedule that time in for ourselves, it's going to get filled with something else. And 5 minutes, what is that? So I'm going to try to make a quick video for you, and then I'm going to ask you to do something in the video, and it's something simple. It might be something you do with your child, or something you say to your child, or one way that you practiced a concept that I'm trying to share with you, something that's worked for me. So I think you understand the format and what I'm expecting. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to post a little getting to know you kind of stuff, but just let me know in the comments below that you are excited, you're ready to go, you're in for the 15 days. If you know anyone else you think this could help, and I'm not totally wacky, and you're like, maybe she could help me, please feel free to share this group. I can't add them until they're my friend, so they have to add me as a friend on Facebook. But I mean, what's mine is yours. I want you to grow, and I want you to enjoy your children. Like, for so many of us, this has been a dream, and now our children are here. I guess I forgot to tell you. And when my children finally came, I found myself upset at what they were doing or not doing instead of enjoying them. Like, what is that? I had these expectations for myself and for my husband that, you know, our kids would do this or they wouldn't do that, or they would say this, or they would go here. And I can't change them. And I would go to bed in tears, and I would text my husband that I'm a failure and I'm not doing this right. I'm a terrible mother. And you know what? We all have room to grow, but when you start to accept who you are as a parent and how you can help your kids be who God made them to be by working on you and how you respond to them, like, they're going to do what they're going to do. And you're going to set the guidelines. You're going to encourage them. You're going to set limits, and you're going to be an example. And you're going to, but if you can't inspire them with love and true peace in your heart, in your homes, it's very hard to make any progress as a parent. And my kids are still little, and I already see that. And some of you have children, you have years beyond mine in wisdom as a parent. But we all know, you know, they're going to grow up and they're going to be who they are, their personality, their tendencies, their habits, their preferences. And we are just here to assist them in that journey to get to be grown up and to be an adult. So we should enjoy that. We should treasure that. They're growing up before our eyes. And I believe a boot camp like this, where we work on some simple, very common stressors and challenges as a mom or a dad, I think there's mostly moms in here. I believe that if we show up and we work on some big ones and we realize how we can help, how we can stop contributing to the problem instead of yelling at them and slamming doors or throwing them in their bed or in timeout or whatever. Like, I've heard it all. Like, we have to figure out ways to be the example of who we want them to be and detach the emotion, the frustration, the sadness, the anger, the impatience, because you're so busy and, you know, life is so expensive and there's so much stress. It's so easy to let your emotions just be like, oh, and that child, that poor blank slate canvas, that open book is being written on by emotions that we don't even want them to see. We want them to see joy and peace and love and self-control. And part of having self-control when you're a parent and you're frustrated is not letting them see that frustration and having strategies in place to avoid the emotions that you don't want them to see. So I'll stop there. I welcome you. Thank you for trusting me with this, and I welcome your feedback. I'm working on it every day. I'll see you tomorrow.